Ow. Guys, do you ever have that? Do any of y'all get shellac on your fingernails?
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like,
Dip.
what? Oh,
Okay. So like,
Did a little bit come off and it's
or it gets
like,
stuck
in
right
your
here.
hair?
so
Yes.
like,
I do
yeah,
press on
when you
here.
like
Yeah.
when you get to that time where it's like almost ready to get them done again, and then you like
Yes.
run your fingers through your hair and it gets caught.
Yes.
Well, then this morning was like, oh, it's peeling. So now my nails look like a
Oh boy.
zero. And then this one is like needs to just be clipped, but I don't want to do it because I'm going to go downstairs after this later and get them done. And anyway, it
God bless.
hurts.
The
Okay.
in-between struggle.
The in-between struggle. Okay. What episode number is this, Anna? Are we on 10?
10.
Whoa. All right, everybody.
chills.
Welcome to episode 10 of Get Mom Ready. Ladies, this is 10. That's
So
crazy.
exciting.
That's a milestone. Wow. So amazing. Well, I know that I have learned a ton in these past 10 episodes and I'm still so great. I still pinch myself every single Monday when we launch an episode that you guys said yes to this. And here we are, 10 episodes in. And it's been a lot of life, even in just 10 episodes, which is crazy. Okay, so we are going to talk about a real practical topic today around traveling, staying grounded while you're traveling with your kids. And because we've all recently been on trips. But before we jump in, as always, want to thank our sponsor, PDPed. If you have not already, it's a great time to go get you some shoes, especially this fall where hopefully it's colder than it is right now in Houston, wherever you are. Today's a high of 91. But it is getting less humid, which I'll take. But
Boy,
anyway,
oh boy.
use code MOMREADY for 20% off your first order at pdped.com. All right, you guys. So I was thinking it would be fun to do like a quick overview of some trips that we've been on recently. So maybe I'll go first and then I'll just kind of go around on my screen. So then Hannah, Meredith, and then Anna. So Elliot and I just got back on Sunday from Chicago. This was one of those moments where I just was filled with gratitude for a lot of reasons. Elliot and I were celebrating 12 years of marriage. Our anniversary is September 28th. And so this was like a week after that. And then I had a work event on Thursday, which was one of those work events that just didn't feel like work. I was literally sitting there going, this is so cool that I get to get paid to sit here and facilitate a like cohort of leaders. And it was
Awesome.
just wonderful. And so that was like a really awesome moment. And then Elliot and Iris came with me. And so that was another really neat moment where Elliot did a daddy-daughter day on Thursday and took her around the city while I worked. And then Friday and Saturday got to shut off from work and explore the city. So anyway, I can unpack a lot of all that stuff in a minute. But yeah, so it was like we got there on Wednesday night, left on Sunday morning. And this was our first trip since Iris has been mobile where we weren't going to see our family. Like every other trip we've done, it was like for a funeral or for a holiday or for a family trip when we're all meeting somewhere. And so this was like our first, like our little family unit flying solo somewhere else. So that was my overview. And I've got a lot more ideas and stuff to unpack there. But Hannah, over to you. You recently traveled.
Yes, recently traveled, and we do the trip up in the summer to go visit my parents, and I flew with all three girls by myself,
Amazing.
and then later, just recently, just flew with one. I think they're actually the same amount difficult. Like,
Interesting.
flying with three of like the ages that I have, and then just one as she got older. But I do remember, and she, the littlest, did really well on the plane. And again, because my olders are 6 and 8, and so they're, I mean, you guys probably, you probably know we are like a very low screen family. So airplanes are one of the times where they get to use their Kindles. So they're quiet. They get on that
They're
plane
like
and
living
they're
the
like,
dream.
I'm watching a movie or I'm watching this show or like dad and I downloaded these, episodes of this thing. And so they're like, they're locked in. And so yeah, those Kindles only come out on long car trips or the airplane. And so they're easy, it's the younger one that's now she's almost 1 and she was very just squiggly, just wanting to pull down the thing. And something I remember, and again, she did really well on the plane, which I'm very happy about. But there was another family, and like a baby was crying and screaming and all this stuff. And I kept just reminding myself, like, I didn't say anything to them, but like, when people talk about like the planes and things like that, I just always remind people that like the plane's going to end at some point. You might never see these people ever again. Like, it's going to end, and then you will be off the plane and your baby will be in their comfortable place or wherever it is. And this is not forever. That's kind of a helpful reframe for me. Or if something's really uncomfortable, like again, my sister was traveling for the first time with her baby, and a good reminder is that like this situation, it's not going to be forever. Like we're going to get through it, and then we're going to have a new thing.
So true. I tell myself that all the time with the stage that Iris is in. And I'm like, she's a feral toddler and won't ever see these people again, including the flight attendants that aren't always as friendly as I think they should be.
Oh boy. Oh no.
That is
Okay,
really
what about-
hard. I've tried to make good friends with them. Like right when I get to the plane, I get to the back and I'm like, is this a full flight? Like,
Isn't she so cute? Yeah.
Yeah, the pulling up squirrely thing that is one thing I'm not particularly looking forward to as Ethan grows, because it's been fairly, honestly, easy enough. I mean, to be fair, I've never flown with him by myself, but easy enough flying with him. And you just get those little, it's not the end of the world, but I can imagine this and pulling up and you're just like, oh boy, okay, we're just wrangling incessantly. And if you're doing that, like, it's one thing to have a quick trip for an hour and you're like, all right, this is like borderline annoying, but like whatever, But if you're on there for 2+ hours, you're like, well, God are the days where I can relax in an airplane and watch a movie that I haven't seen yet or a TV show or what. We are just wrestling a squirrely, twirly toddler situation. And that's exhausting, to be fair. I mean, it's exhausting.
You're like sweating and it's just like, I mean, yeah.
And also Delta, God bless you. Y'all are trying to smoke us out on those airplanes. They do not turn that AC on for the first 20 freaking minutes. And I'm like, well, cool. It is awful. I feel very strongly about it. It is awful. I just want y'all to know it's awful.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. The toddler stage flying is not for the faint of heart. Okay, well, Meredith, with your little loaf of bread that you have right now, tell us. So you were recently in Hawaii for a lot of the last episodes we recorded.
So to be fair, he has been in the car for long stretches and flying since he was fit. I mean, our first trip home, Atlanta is like 3.5 hours away from here. He was 6 weeks old. He did great, fine. He was again a loaf of bread, like along for the ride. So doesn't even count. His first airplane ride, he was 2.5 months old. Again, it was a quick hour, not a big deal. This last one, when we went to Hawaii, he was about 5 months old. We knew it'd be long. There were many stretches, but I don't recall it, to be honest with you. I think it was fine. I mean, I think we had like 3 legs, and it's exhausting, but it was fine. The way home, I was the most nervous about because I myself have come back, but pre having a baby, come back from Hawaii to the East Coast, and I didn't sleep for 23 straight hours. And I was like, this is going to be awful with the baby. Like going in, I was just like, this will be awful. I mean, literally for months I was talking about it. Okay. Like awful.
Talking so much about it. Like this is I won't be able to talk for a week, guys.
100%. Yeah. Literally. Cause I had done it before and I was like, give me time to adjust. I will be unwell forever. I was so dramatic. But I also truly, pre-kids had done it, and I literally did not sleep for 23 straight hours. And I just came back, and I was like, So I thought, well, I'm a goner with the kid. Forget about it. And so he just turned 8 months yesterday. So he was about 8 months old by the time we got home. And we did a direct flight back, so 9 hours. and then we connected in Atlanta. It doesn't matter. But the point is, the bulk of it was 9 hours. And I would give him an A-. Honestly. You know what? He did scream the freaking plane down from the depths of like scratching his throat, crying so loud and hard. For nap number 2, which would have been his longest stretch. And I just thought, I was wearing him. I'm patting his little hiney. I'm walking up and down. He is, just letting it out. And I'm like, here, this is part of your initiation as a traveling mom. Every mom needs to experience this. Number 1. Number 2, this will not last forever. He will literally tear. That too, he might have torn something, but like wear himself out. You have nourished, you've comforted, you have done what you need to do. Now you just rock and shush. You're doing everything you can. You're comforting him. And honestly, I kind of just had to chuckle. I'm like, well, sorry guys. Like you're so powerless over it that I was not stressed. I was like,
yeah, that's good.
I don't know, guys, but also
that's awesome.
They all have entertainment. Like they
yes,
all have stuff going
everybody
on.
has noise canceling earbuds. And if you don't, I'm sorry for you.
Yes.
It's not.
This isn't the old days where it's like everyone is subjected to this screaming at the highest decibel that mom is. No, you all are listening to a movie or listening to something or watching something, and this might be annoying in the background, but like we'll get past it. And I just had to chuckle. So I just kind of hid myself. It was a big plane. I hid myself in like this area and just kind of, here we are, and it's like, I don't know, man, I literally powerless over this. No one can change this. So here we are. And then he's been fine getting back with, just nothing too crazy and bumpy. But I will say I surprised myself because I did think to myself, closer we got to the flight, I thought, Mare, you're going to need to do a little attitude adjustment. Like if you think it's going to go terribly, it's not that it would like, well, this is just what's going to happen, but you really do need to set yourself up for success. And even before Scott and I got on the plane, I was like, no matter what happens, we're on the same team. And I love you. And doesn't mean that we weren't like, well, could you check that? Those moments happen. You need to watch the way you're talking to me. It's like the way I even say it. It's like, okay, but check yourself. I'm the worst. I am the literal worst.
No, I think I am, Meredith. I'm worse than you are. Elliot's like, I'm not a child.
I mean,
you're acting like one.
But anyway, I'm like, okay, well, and then it's like, it's fine. It's literally fine. And to your point, Hannah, it doesn't last forever. Like literally 9 hours seems like a long time, but he slept for 5.5 of them. Not every 8-month-old's doing that. I get it. Like I get that for whatever reason, that's the way the cookie crumbled for that particular flight, whatever, but it's not going to last forever. And, this is one thing I want to say that ties back to one of our conversations recently about the word hard. Hannah, I think it was your episode. Do you remember when we were talking about struggling with the word hard? We're like, what is it about that word? And my sister reached out and was like, okay, I've got thoughts. I listened to y'all's episode. And what she said, I'm like, oh, yes. Okay. So I swear I'm going to land my own verbal plane here in a second with this, but I think it ties into this. I think it ties into this conversation. She's like, it's like somehow in our brains, when society, because she says, I also hate when people say, oh, that must be so hard. Or, oh, that's hard. She's like, it's not hard, because hard, we can associate that with it being bad or not worth doing. And it's like, marriage is hard. Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's bad or that it's not worth it, right? Or traveling with babies is hard. Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's bad or not worth it, right? That's where I think that's kind of an interesting like mindset shift around the word hard. It's like, yeah, it is not an easy task, and it is still worth it. Like, and I'm so glad that we still did Hawaii. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm so glad that, I don't know, like, I just think there's something to that.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people have gone again. Ooh, Holly's getting a quote.
I got a quote.
Boy.
I think a lot of times people don't want hard work, but hard work is good. I mean, hard is good. And so, yeah, we don't have to avoid. Sometimes we say like, oh, it's so hard, then someone's like, I don't want to do it too hard.
Right.
But no, it's hard, and you had to do it. You had to go on the plane. Like you had, in order to get back home, you guys had to do it. And and you learned something from it. You're like, oh, I can withstand this. Oh, humor made it easier. I'm going to still go with what I know. Shush and pat. Shush and pat. And at some point, he's gonna surrender.
His white flag. He'll wave his little baby white flag.
That's so true. Okay, here's the quote, Meredith. This is from this is Helen Keller, who, hello. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet, Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. I love that quote.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it's the only way to build character. And we all want character. We all want to be people who can endure. We all want to be people who have strength. And you don't get that from ease. So,
So
Yeah.
true.
And we want it for our kids. So we got to
Right.
build resilience too. And even, I mean, Hannah, I want you to talk about your hike that we didn't catch on this part of the recording, but like, I'm even thinking about, even if it's a 0.3 mile hike, it still did something for your kids. Like there was just something there that built enough resistance for them to have to contend with that I think matters.
So good.
Yeah, we were talking before recording about 2 years ago, we went to Scottsdale, and before dropping our kids off with my sister and her husband, we were like, let's go on a hike. You know, we want to be outdoorsy people when we travel. And we literally went on a 0.3 mile hike. Like you could see the rock, like you could throw a rock at the big rock, you know, from the parking lot. And so we're like, you know, walking around, and just 10 steps in, they were already complaining. And so what's going through my head is like, oh, my kids, you know, my kids aren't going to be outdoorsy. They're not going to be, they're not going to love the nature. They're not going to be, you know, resilient. When I'm remembering, you know, vacations as a kid, my dad was like taking us actual rock climbing, like scaling a real rock, or like hiking a mountain with switchbacks, or hiking LeConte Lodge where you had to stay. You hiked, and then
LeConte? Oh my gosh. Sorry,
you
keep going.
stay
Wow.
at the top of the lodge. Like I was like, I grew up, you know, hiking and, you know, climbing and all these stuff. So anyways, you know, they get to the top, oh my gosh, it's so much, it's so hard and whatever. And so again, the thought that goes through my head is like, oh, are we not, you know, doing it? And at that point they were probably like, what, 4 and 6, you know, so they're young, like they're not able to do big long hikes. But I was able to reframe, like, okay, we did it. We showed them that this is important to us, and this is something that they were able to accomplish and overcome. But I did have to reframe, like, okay, we're gonna, you know, scaffold the hiking trips now.
And I think that's
so
it. It's like there's 2 paths you can take. You can either say, we're going to do this thing, and it's probably going to be, you know, tough. There's going to be complaining or attitudes or whatever, but we're going to do it. And the goal is doing it. The goal is not necessarily for everyone to enjoy doing it, but we want these memories. We want to build this character, whatever it is, and you just go for it. Or you decide, we want a happy trip, and therefore our trips are going to revolve around things that the kids want to do, even if that's different than what we had planned. If we planned to be at the pool the whole time and they want to go to the playground, we're going to the playground. If we wanted to eat out, but they just want to eat sandwiches at the hotel, so you just pick a path, and either one's okay, but you pick, are the kids going to enjoy every single moment of this? And is it really a trip for them? Or is it to build something within them, or as a family? And that's the goal, but attitudes are just not going to matter. And you get to pick, you know?
Yeah.
Also,
so true.
newsflash, on vacation, even if you try to do everything fun for your kids, like they're not going to be happy at everything.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's still going to be the screaming, crying tantrums.
But like, even vacations are so exhausting to me. And you know why? Because it's sun up to sundown, and they want dopamine all day. Like, you know, it's like they're like, good morning. Okay, we're gonna go to the donut shop, and then we're gonna go to the beach, and then we're gonna get coffee at our favorite place, and then we're gonna on the beach. Oh, the ice cream person comes on the beach, and we want to get sandwiches from our favorite place, and we're like, okay. Yeah, everything. But what you said, Anna, you said something that triggered something for me to say. Vacations are, no matter how hard you try, like nobody's gonna be happy at every moment. But there was something else, and maybe I'll think of it later.
Yeah. I want to wait real quick. Anna didn't get to share her. Anna does something I admire about Anna is she does like a lot of weekend trips to see her sister that's a few hours away, or to go to Dallas, or so. Anna, I didn't know if you wanted to share any, like, what your traveling with Emmy typically looks like.
Yeah. We do. We do a lot of car trips. We do a lot of plane trips too, but normally Amy loves airplanes, and we're normally with family. So she's got cousins, she's got entertainment. Similar to you, Hannah, we like only use iPad in very, very specific situations. That's one of them. So like normally she's got enough on airplanes. So that really doesn't stress me out a ton. But the car trips were something, and they still do. Like I still am like anxious little tight bubble every time we go to Dallas or Louisiana. But it has gotten a lot better. And I feel like the one thing that I just always do is I have a massive bag of snacks next to me and a massive bag of toys. And anytime she wants something, I can pull one. And I do a lot of solo
That's
trips. Like I do a lot with
awesome.
just me and her.
Bless
So
you.
like I've just learned like, okay, I've got two hands. They need to be on the wheel 99% of the time. Like I can hand you a snack and I can hand you a new toy, but like if you drop it until we stop. And
Yep.
honestly, when I'm solo, she does a lot better. Like, cause she gets it. Like she even says at the grocery store with her little, driving shopping cart, she's like, I have to watch the road. I have to keep my hands on the wheel. So like
Aw.
she's just learned like
I have chills.
mom is watching the road. Cause
Yes.
I'm like, or do you want to get hit? Like we're going to get hit. We're not going to be able to go and we might go to the hospital. Like, would you rather do that? Or would you rather me keep my hands on the wheel? Like those are your choices.
Not
And
want
so-
to sacrifice our safety.
Yes.
and there's been struggles or like crying, but it's the same thing that y'all are saying. I'm like, well, we'll be there in an hour, or I can choose to stop. But usually I'm just like pedal to the metal. The sooner we get to our
Yes.
cousins and our family, like this will all end. It's whatever. Like I expect
Mhm.
it. You have your snacks, you have your toys, you're gonna be just fine. And yeah, it usually goes pretty well for the most part. So it's
Yeah.
just come in prepared with all the things.
I think
Boy, oh
something you
boy.
said, Anna, reminded me because this is so true about kids like to feel empowered.
Mm.
And when we give them that, like you and Emmy, like our teammates in the car, I
interesting.
remember I did the same thing. I drove with the girls down from like Connecticut to Maryland and like framing it as like, okay, we are going to do this. Like we're in this together and this is the plan and things like that. Like I think it empowers them to feel like they're making an impact or they're
Yeah.
helping, like Emmy's helping keep you safe by,
Right.
getting over a toy dropping on the ground or,
Right.
Mm.
and yeah, I think of that a lot, like with solo parenting, like when Dave travels for work, we're like, oh wait, it's girls' dinner. Like, okay, what special are we doing,
Right.
for this? And it's like everybody needs to help because it's harder when dad's gone
Mm.
because I have to do the things for two people, and that is just the reality.
Yeah.
And so like it kind of allows the kids to like step up and
Yes.
That's
feel
awesome.
special.
I have
Yeah.
a question for y'all, more seasoned parents. I'm thinking about, like, let's use the example of hiking. I am not someone who loves to hike. I like to move my body and be active, but I like a nature walk, but like a hike, I'm like, oh my God, how long are we out here? Honestly. Now, that said, what I also value is teaching Ethan one day. I mean, now, but also when he's like able to kind of get it a little more, some resilience. And I recognize that I have to model that, right? So like, hey, like, how do you approach it if it's like, hey, mom doesn't love to hike either, and we have an opportunity. Like, what about this can we enjoy? Can we, instead of complaining out loud every 10 feet, make it like, I know that that's a lot of coaching and a lot of effort, and it might go right over the head of a toddler, let's say. But like, I still want to lay that foundation of like these small bricks, like whether it's the 0.3 mile hike or it's a little longer. I'm using hiking as an example. It obviously could be literally any single thing. And that was one of the things too about the plane ride is that I was like, Mir, it starts now. Like I have to, that whole idea of like
Mhm.
wherever you go, you're taking you with you. I'm like, Mir, if you
Yes.
don't want Ethan to see you stressed about, "Oh my God, do we have that hybrid? Do we have this? Do all the things? It's like, you're the one who has to make those decisions and like do your own work to shift your mindset and your attitude and your energy around it. And then I think about that with the things that I also don't like to do, hiking being among the top of the list. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, well, how can I sort of still create points of resistance that create resilience for both of us? You know what I mean? In a developmentally appropriate way for him, but that's still showing the example like, hey, dude, mom's right there with you. I sometimes don't love this either. And like what? You know what I mean? Like, how would y'all kind of guide me as a new mom through that?
I'm looking at Hannah and Anna because I don't know.
Hannah, do you?
Well, I do have thoughts, and then I want to hear your point of
You go
view
first.
because you are the most seasoned. I feel like you get the opportunity to do that every single day. Like, yes, kids are on a dopamine adventure on vacation, but also every single day, like from the time she wakes up in the morning until the second she shuts her eyes, it's like, what are you doing? I want this. I want this. Like, it's just
Ding.
like, whoa. And so it's like you get to do that every day of like the hard thing
That's
is
fair.
not getting everything you want. Sometimes the hard thing is like, we're going to settle. It doesn't always have to be like an adventure. It's like,
Yeah.
calm down. And, or like Meredith, the other thought I had is like, you enjoy surfing. You enjoy a lot of things that a lot of people think are hard. Whatever. You went surfing.
Yeah,
Won't say you,
I'm
but
like, well, yeah.
even in your day-to-day life, the way that like in your work, or the fact that you are like very good about nutrition, health, like exercise for your body. Like a lot of people don't do those things. And so you're already modeling so many things for him about how to do things that might feel hard, but you're choosing them and you make it joyful. And so I feel like, yes, we can do that on trips and that's awesome. But like your kids are going to remember how you acted day to day.
That's good.
More, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's so
That's
helpful.
really good.
I love that, Anna. And I think just to add to that, but I totally agree. And I totally agree. Narrating it like, oh, this is this is hard to do. And I'm working at it. Or, you know, like
oh,
just
that's so good.
acknowledging. I'm almost going to encourage you to say hard more often and not in a negative way. I think, Holly, you turned me on to Sarah Blakely, and she's the woman who created Spanx.
Yeah, she's
And
awesome.
her dad used to at dinner ask them, "How did you fail today?"
Yes.
And so we would ask our kids that, and we don't ask it all the time, but we went through like a little period, and then we would like cheer for them, because if you failed, it means you tried something hard. It means you challenged yourself. And failing is not a bad thing. If we never failed, then that means we would never try anything new and we would never grow. And so being able to model that, like, it's hard. I mean, that's hard for me. Like, I like to do things perfectly and well and try things one time and be amazing at it. And that's just not life. And so doing things and being like, oh yeah, look, I tried this and I totally failed. Or I scheduled something at the same time when I had something else, or I thought I was going to get all these things done today and I didn't. Oh, I failed. You know, like being able to model those things and say that is helpful. And I want to caution also, because I saw something recently, which there's so much talk about, like, do this, but not so much, and blah, 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 you know? And so it's like, don't process your own emotions with your kid being like,
of course.
But like, you know, just
in a
like,
developmentally appropriate way, or with examples that are appropriate.
Right.
Like, man, mom wants to be on her phone too, but we're being present right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
right.
well,
That's
it's
a
those
great
kind of things.
example.
Yeah, like it's the low hanging. Like, I know that you want whatever. I mean, I'm thinking literally.
Or I want a treat right now, you know, like, oh, can we go to Chick-fil-A? You know, we drive by Chick-fil-A on the way home or something, and they're like, oh, can we go to Chick-fil-A? Like, I want this. And it's like, we're going to be home in 8 minutes. Like, I'd love a Diet Coke right now, but we're not going to stop and get a lemonade just because we're driving by. Like, we can wait until we get home.
Yes.
Like, oh, I'd love a treat every second.
I mean, literally, it is, that
So
is,
good.
treat is exactly the thing I thought about recently, where I'm like, Meredith, you got to cut back on the treat culture you created in yourself. And I even mean like an extra at the store. And my sister, this is hysterical. I texted, y'all might be like, cool, that crashed and burned. But in my brain, it's just funny. Mallory and Ellie, my sisters, I said to them, I texted them the other day, I was like, you guys, I just left the grocery store and I did not get a treat for myself. This is real adulting. And Mallory says, I'm going to need you to define what your definition of treat is, because if it's a protein ball, I'm going to burst your bubble real quick. And I was like, LOL. Well, okay, it's like a sparkling water or a matcha latte from Whole Foods. And she's like,
Kombucha.
good for you. Yeah, she's like, good for you. You know what I mean? So I was like, LOL. But regardless, it's the idea that like, well, I'm here and I just need something. I deserve a sparkling water
It's
while
part
I
of
walk.
the grocery bill.
Yes.
Girl, don't think I don't say that every time I go. I'm like, it's just part of the grocery bill. What are you talking about? I'll get a
Yeah.
shirt, a packed, that company packed shirt at Whole Foods.
Yes.
I'm like, well, it's under the grocery bill. Who could even notice it was
You
there?
Stanley.
You're like, well, I guess. Anyway, so I have to work on that within myself. And I'm like, oh boy, this is really, when he starts to take note of these things, mama's going to be looking at a mirror she doesn't like to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's
100%.
very hard. Target is so hard. Kids
Oh,
are like, well, why are
gosh.
you buying this for yourself? And I'm like, because I'm the mother. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
okay, I love that. So we talked about the overview of the trips we've been on recently, what that looked like. Talked about reframing it, and then Anna and Hannah, what you guys just shared around narrating and modeling was so good. Those are kind of my two takeaways of like verbalizing the thought process and yeah, and modeling it in the day to day and not just on a special occasion or a trip or whatever. The other thing I wanted to touch on was just a few things that came to my head around learnings of like some fails and some wins on our trip. So, a fail is kind of, you alluded to this earlier, Meredith. I still want to work on the way that I talk to Elliot in those moments of frustration. I feel like overall we did better this time, but it's still not where I want us to be. And so I love the idea of what you said, Meredith, like before we get on the plane, like no matter what happens, we're on the same team, you know, because Elliot and I are both like anxious people. It just looks very different. The way that we are anxiety, what do you call that? Like
Whether you present.
the way we present looks very different. So anyway, so I want to get better at that. And I think a learning I just took away from you, Meredith, was like having a moment before, or like a safe word or something funny, you know, that we can like have when we're both feeling those moments to be able to use that, because it's, you know, I still know she picks up on that energy, even though she might not understand what we're saying. I want to get better at that before she can actually understand every word that we're saying.
Yeah.
So that was like, you know, on the learning side of things I want to get better at. On the win side, so this is something we've done a couple of times now. We did it when she was 3 months old, right before I went back for maternity leave, when she was a little loaf of bread, and now she's a sack of potatoes. But I called ahead to the hotel and asked for us to be on the floor closest to the restaurant. And so we were, and we also decided to just stay at the hotel where my work thing was. It was a little bit more expensive than we probably would normally spend. But since I had a couple of nights that were paid for the work thing, we just decided, rather than like saving a couple $100 and like lug everyone and everything across wherever, we just decided it was worth it to stay in that location. So I'm really glad we did that. And I'm glad I called ahead, because we were right on the river in Chicago. And Chicago is special to me and Elliot because we honeymooned there. And so this was special for us to like, yeah. So that was like another thing. So anyway, it was like right on the river. So we had they had a patio with a beautiful view, and our monitor stretched that far. And so during nap time and during, you know, after we would put her down, we would go. So that helped in that we would leave the room. Like, so it wasn't like, why are my parents still in my room while like I'm trying to get like, so that worked really well, where we would like say goodnight, put her in the crib, and like literally leave the room, and we had no issues. She just went down, and then the monitor stretched down to the patio. So we would drink wine and play Uno. And so whereas normally we put her down and then we're watching TV together, it was just so nice to be disconnected from chores, like not having a kitchen full of dishes or laundry to do. And away from screens, and just be able to play Uno together. So those are
so nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that really is.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, I have one more thought.
Like the best part of travel, even if it's a trip and not a vacation with kids, it's like not having the stressors of everyday normal life, I have found still helps us connect better as a family. Just moving, even if it's more stressful, even if we sleep less, even if it's hard, like it's still so special. And like, creates opportunities to reconnect. And I think that that is worth it in and of itself. So yeah, I just love that you said that.
I totally agree, Anna, because there was a moment like the day before we left, or maybe it was the morning we left. I think Elliot and I both, we didn't say it, but I felt it, and I felt like he did too, where it was like, why are we doing this again? Why don't I just go to the work trip? Like,
Right.
it would be so much easier if Elliot and Irish just stayed here and I did the work, but it was those nights on the patio playing Uno where I was like, it's all worth it for this.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the normal chores in our face. We don't have the TV in our
Yeah.
face, and so that was good. But the other thing that I really loved that might not be true for everyone, but I loved being in a city where we had public trans. So we took the train from the airport to our hotel. We used the buses and the trains. And there was a part of me that I felt, because I went to college in New York City, and that was a big part of my life, was like feeling like a superstar on the public trans. And so to like be able to lug my daughter around in that experience, I think there was like a moment of like being proud or something for me in that.
Yeah.
And then it also just gave so much freedom because we weren't stressed about the stupid $50 a night parking and the car
yeah.
seat and just all of the stress that comes
Yes.
with the
In
parking.
and out and in and out. And
Yes. And so that was also, and jury is still out. We chose not to take the stroller.
I was going to ask. Okay.
So when she turned about 13 months, the stroller became more of a headache than helpful. I feel like until that moment for us, the stroller was awesome. And then 13 months, like I took a solo trip in May, and she wanted to climb on the stroller more than be in it. And so it was just another thing I had to lug around.
Totally.
But I did have one of those sling things that I would say was like semi-helpful. So anyway, that was the one. It was like, but it was a good workout. I mean, he and I both could work on getting in better shape. And so it was hard, but it was also like, okay, we're working our body.
Yeah.
We're like, we're sweating. My
We're
glasses are
hoisting.
fogging up, but like, here she is, and I'm working my muscles.
Yes.
it's your weighted vest.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hello.
My
Hello.
30-pound weighted
Look,
vest.
30-pound
Literally, though.
squirmy, whining,
Yeah.
weighted vest.
So those are my
Literally.
kind of like learnings. So yeah, curious to hear from you. Any learnings or any like hacks or tips about keeping you grounded or connecting with your spouse or just kind of general like traveling with kids thoughts that y'all want to share that you've learned lately?
I think the biggest one, I mean, I think if this is more of like an emotional kind of reframing, but just kind of blocking out the noise of other people. Like, I think there's always this like anxiety I have, like right when I'm about to get on the plane, and then I'm like, I gotta fold up the tuna and then put it in the bag, and then and then I'm like sweating, and I'm like, I'm trying to do it so fast, and I've got like a baby straps on me, and then I'm like kind of annoyed that no one behind me is like asking, do you need help? I'm like, you see my baby like, with her head back as I'm like trying to like find
So
my
relatable.
myself.
What you just, if you're listening to this, you need to go watch the video for Hannah's face because like we've all experienced the baby
gosh.
going like this.
Yeah, like whatever. And so and after like several flights, I've taken her maybe like 6 or 8 times. I'm trying to think, like maybe like 6
That's
or
a
8.
lot.
No, actually probably 10. This was probably like our 10th because it was like
once a month for her little life, basically. That's awesome.
well, because like there and back, there and
Oh,
back,
okay.
there and back, there and back. It's like 10 flights, that just her
Awesome.
and I were on. And yeah, so I've had this so many times, and then finally I'm like, people are waiting on the tarmac for so long. Like, why am I rushing? Like,
Yes.
there's like 60 people behind me, just like in that little tunnel. And people are like trying to get on. And I'm like, oh, you want to hurry up to get on the plane to wait in line to find a seat? Like,
Exactly.
down everybody. So I think
Ugh.
just what I've like learned is like quiet the noise of everybody around. Like when you're on vacation, if your kid is having a tantrum, okay. Like not to change the way you parent, because I think I did that like when I was more newly as a parent. Like I kind of tried to think of like, oh, what do I think that people around me think I'm supposed to be doing with my child at this moment? Like
Yes.
setting this limit at the moment because they're thinking I'm not, instilling manners or whatever it is. And I think as time has gone on, I have felt more confident, in my parenting, but also just like, I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do in this moment. And I'm just going to block out anybody else being like, this, or, or even just my assumption. of other people.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest like kind of overall
Love
you
it.
know, when you're traveling, just do what works for you guys and try to quiet the noise of everything else.
Love.
And I'll
love,
say on
love.
airplanes, babies crying never bothers me. The only thing that bothers me
Yes.
is people watching something without their headphones because that you can
Yes.
control. You
You
can't
can
control a
control
baby
that.
crying. Even before I was a mom, I was like, a baby is a baby. Like, what are you going to do?
Totally.
But like when people are watching something loud or like, you know, I don't know, whatever, that actually bothers me way more than a baby. I pack extra lollipops, in my backpack because so many times moms have been like panicking and like looking around and their kids throwing a fit. And I'm like, here's a little lolly. Like,
So
just give them a
sweet.
lollipop.
So
And it works like a
sweet.
charm. And I already carry 500 for my, for Emmy and my nieces and nephews. So I'm like, here,
That's
everyone have a lolly.
smart.
That is
For
I
everyone.
love packing candy. Like I don't usually buy candy again, but like for the airplane, like I pack some special. We had a babysitter growing up and her name was Colleen and she would come on like vacations with us.
Yeah.
And she had a
Oh.
bag called the Colleen Bag. And it was like this special backpack that just had like new stuff. Like it just like it was like Mary Poppins, you know, like we couldn't believe how much could fit in that bag, but it was like stickers or a coloring book or a little like, you know, tchotchke or candy or snacks or whatever. And it's like whenever something is going on, oh, just pull something out of the Colleen bag. And so then my
That's
mom
That's
was carrying
amazing.
one. And yeah, so that I try to
That's
do that
awesome.
for trips of like I'll go to the store or I'll like, you know, start prepping and collecting things ahead of time, which then now the kids are like, where's all this? I'm like, don't even do it. Like you
Mm.
surprise. Don't
That's
do
right.
it.
Yes.
That's right.
And I think too, I have to remind myself, like, my nervous system is reacting to Iris's, like, nobody else. Like, I don't care when a baby is, same with you, Anna. It's like,
Yeah.
you literally just said what annoys me the most too. But the sound of volume coming through
Dude.
a phone, that
Or
shrilling,
inappropriate.
but I, my baby crying makes my nervous system go wacko, but
Of
everybody
course.
else is like,
Same.
whatever. So
Yeah.
I think to remind
we know.
ourselves, it's like, this is a physical reaction to, like,
Right. That you
Yeah.
should have as a mom, but
Yeah.
nobody else on the planet has.
Yeah.
Nobody.
all right. I love it. Well, thank you guys. Some good takeaways. And one, like, we've been even talking about as a group, like really trying to dial in again, like get mom ready, really making sure that we're thinking about, the moms that we're talking to. And my hope is moms that are listening, that you just see what's possible. Like here are 4 moms who are just doing it. And it's like, and flying sometimes by yourselves and sometimes with a partner and sometimes driving and sometimes not and sometimes deciding to stay home. And so just if you're someone who's like, man, I haven't traveled yet because I'm nervous, or I haven't, it went terribly and I'm scared to do it again or whatever. Like, I just hope that you hear 4 different perspectives of what's possible, and that encourages you to just get out, get on the go and try it, and building that strength and resilience along the way because you did something that you wanted to do and see how it went. And I think that takes courage and bravery. So thank you guys. All right. Wanted to remind everybody that you can go to getmomready.com and subscribe for our weekly email. We send it out on Sunday nights so that you can be alerted of when every new episode goes out. And then you can also be a part of our paid community. In the paid community, we have paid resources, like we have Meredith's wellness guide, we have my pumping guide, we have, Anna is just churning out all of the resources that are incredible. The one you did last week, Anna, on marriage and parenting was so good. Got Hannah's principled living guide, many others. And we also do a call. We're trying to figure out actually what that looks like right now, but it'll be a group coaching call. So by the time we're recording this early before you guys hear it, there's something else I was going to say. Oh, you can also, so much going on at Get Mom Ready, do one-on-one coaching with any of us. So wherever you are in your motherhood journey, you can go to getmomready.com, and then at the top, there is a book coaching, I think is what it says, Anna.
Book a call or book
Book a call.
coaching. Yeah.
And you can just do it right there. You don't even have to talk to anybody. You can book it with any of us for whatever you feel like you want extra support on. And we would love to meet you where you are. I think that's all. Oh, and then we just want to thank our sponsor of PDPed, pdped.com, and use code MOMREADY for 20% off your first order. Anything I missed, guys?
I don't think so.
Nailed
Okay.
it.
All right. Love you guys. You're the best.
Love and light.